I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Hold on. Forgot to mute my TV. Sorry about that. What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday morning to you all. Hope you all had a nice Saturday. Was a fun day, man. Saw some good football games. Had a winning day to start the season. Can't argue with that. Shout out to Matt Campbell coming through. When in doubt, the greatest coach in college football will take you to the promised land, and he did so once again. That was a fun game to watch. Some good defense, some really bad quarterback play there early, but saw some great football in the second half. Hawaii, electric. Mike Alejado, man, limping out there. That was just awesome. But this is a baseball stream, so we'll keep it to baseball. We've got 15 games on the board today for Sunday. Whoops. I got to go to hold on. The first one is actually right here. Ignore the up next for a second. This is the first one. It's Rockies Pirates, and the Pirates are minus 331 favorites with Paul Skeens on the mound. Will you guys be touching this game?
No, absolutely not. If I had to lean, it would be Rockies team total under 2.5 at minus 130. I don't know if it's moved or not. It was only open on one book when I looked, but the only reason I even say that is I wouldn't even look at this game with the Pirates at minus 300. But Paul Skeens did get rocked by Colorado in Colorado earlier this year, so I would assume that he kind of tried to avenge that a little bit. I'm not betting it, but if I had to make a play, it'd be Rockies team total under. I bet you Skeens shoves. Shocker, but yeah.
Spoon?
Yeah, I'm also off this game. If I was going to play anything, it'd be the over 7.5. You can get plus money on it right now at Bet365. McCade Brown is projected to make the start for Colorado. This guy's only pitched in high A and double A this year. Even the Pirates bats, I think, can score off that guy. And Skeens gave up 5 runs to Colorado last time he saw him. This one's not going to be in cores, but maybe he gives up 1 or 2, and that bullpen has to pitch at some point. So over 7.5. I'm not going to play it, though.
All right, let's move on to the next game, which is Cardinals-Rays. This is also an early start, 12:10 p.m. Eastern. Liberator on the mound. Did he figure? I mean, he was looking really bad. Has he gotten himself together at all, Liberator?
I don't want to say no, because I think that, I mean, his last 5 starts on the road at Miami, 5 innings, 3 runs, not great. At home against Colorado wasn't great, but on the road at the Dodgers, regardless of how they're playing, 4 innings, 2 runs, it's not great. And then he faced the Padres twice and went 4 1/3 and 1 run in each of those. So, I mean, he hasn't been terrible. I mean, there's a couple blow-ups in there, but it's hard to answer your question, but he hasn't been terrible, but he's not been great.
You think he pitches well against the Rays?
It's over or pass for me. I know that there's some rain concern, but if they do play this game, it's going to be really decent weather for runs tomorrow. It's going to be earlier in the day, so that's when we like to play in Steinbrenner Field. We like to play games over in the day, and kind of the run suppression kind of helps a little bit at night, I guess, with that humid air in Florida. I don't know if I do it because these teams didn't play today, so both of them have a rested bullpen. I mean, and neither one of these starting pitchers are great, but I lean the over just because of the weather and the starting pitching. But at the same time, both of these games that they played, the previous 2 games that they both played, they both flew over the number. Each of them almost had the number or had the total by themselves. But it would be over or pass. But I'm not going to.
Spoon?
Yeah, I'm pretty close to playing the Rays minus 120. If we look at the Cardinals versus right-handed starters, the last 10 that they've seen, they've gotten more than 1 earned run off just one guy, and that was 4 earned runs off Cabrera. The bats broke out that day. They had 11 hits. It's kind of the exception to the rule there. I'm not a big Matthew Liberatore fan. He throws with his left hand, and the Rays haven't been killing left-handed pitching over the last 30 days. They're 29th in baseball, but if we look at the pitchers that they've seen, I mean, they got 0 off Jacob Lopez. That's a reoccurring theme for a lot of teams. They got 2 off Rodon. They got 4 off Jeffrey Springs, 4 off Tyler Anderson. I think they can get some runs off Liberatore, and Liberatore in his last 6 games has failed to make it out of the 5th inning 5 times. So as soon as he gets out of the game, I expect Brandon Lowe to come in and pinch hit, and after that point, I think it's a raised spot from there on out. I haven't made the bet yet, but it's a pretty strong lean.
Someone asked, Kyle, are we back to betting baseball, or you're still giving the Florida Spoon and Toast? No, I'm in football mode now. I won't be betting baseball anymore. So, see, I'm doing these in between. Like I'm doing these are posted on the website, by the way. So I'm building these articles for week 1 already. So I'll be in football mode permanently for from here on out. So. All right.
When TV Jones comes back, I'll probably host a little bit. So
yeah, I won't be. The only reason I'm here is because TV Jones doesn't come on the weekends. So I'm just here as a filler. I'll be doing football. I'm just here as a host. Astros Orioles. This one's a 1:35 p.m. Eastern start. Spoon, it's your freaking boy on the mound. I want this dude to get hit up. So wow, Spoon has a decision to make.
I know. That's why I wanted him to go first.
On one hand, if you haven't been following along, Spoon's been betting the Astros religiously and cashing for the most part. And then on the other hand, it's Trevor Rogers, who's, if you insult Trevor Rogers in front of Spoon, he will defend Trevor Rogers. That's his boy. So who do you side with here?
Give me Houston at plus money. Trevor Rogers, I mean, you can make all sorts of arguments that the numbers he's putting up aren't legitimate. And at some point in the baseball season, regression will come for him. He kind of had a late start, hasn't had a full workload, and he's going to have some games where he gives up some runs, but I mean, it's really hard to really justify why, but the Astros are better at hitting left-handed pitchers. On the opposite side, you got Spencer Arrighetti. This guy's been just terrible on the mound since he came back from injury. Can't find the strike zone. I think this is a spot versus the Orioles where a team that doesn't walk just swings at a bunch of balls outside of the zone, and Arrighetti finally gets a good start. If he doesn't, he's probably going to lose his starting job, and I think that makes him step up. It's a lot of value with a team that's playing much better than Baltimore, in my opinion, and it's hard to fade Trevor Rogers, but if you actually look at his numbers, but at some point, regression comes for everybody.
I agree, and regression is long overdue a visit to Mr. Trevor Rogers, who I will die on the hill is not a good pitcher. Toast, Astros, right?
No, they have no bullpen, so it's a pure pass for me. Astros on the number. I don't think that Baltimore should be laying this number, but I mean, you have Abreu, who's your closer on back-to-back days. Brian King, 2 of the last 3 days. Kurt did have the day off today, but he's still 2 of the last 3 days. Kimbrel is going to be in that game sooner or later, which I don't want to deal with that. De Los Santos is on back-to-back days, 2 out of 3. Unless Arrighetti goes out there and pitches a gem, I think there's a lot of question marks in that Houston bullpen as we get later into the game. So I agree on the price, but there's no way I can actually place that bet.
Mr. Wesker says Stanford quarterback makes Rex Grossman look like Dan Marino. Yeah, Galbranson. Think of how bad, because they have a redshirt freshman they wanted to start. So think of how bad that dude must have looked in practice to get beat. My bad. Next game. We're talking baseball. I was about to go into the Stanford. My bad.
No, I mean, if you take a couple minutes, come on, this is still a sports betting show. I mean,
yeah, well, because they had Elijah Brown, that redshirt freshman. That was the guy who was supposed to start. He got beat out for the job by Galbranson, who Mr. Weskers is right. He did not look sharp. Now, the Hawaii defense did play okay. They struggled a little bit against the run. They were putting a little bit of pressure, but yeah, think how bad Elijah Brown must have looked in camp to get beat out for the job.
Kyle's definitely the boss man, but I will allow some commenting back and forth with the comments for college football. I will allow it.
Yeah,
it's justified. It's justified. I will agree to that.
I love how everybody, when they were cashing football bets, was saying F toast in the Discord.
Isn't that like a top 5?
It was so awesome. It was so cool.
25 years.
What's that?
Isn't Grossman like one of the best quarterbacks for the Bears over the last 25 years if you actually look at his stats?
By Bears standards, maybe.
Sauce thinks Matt Campbell is God, and he's like 2-4 his last 6 bowl games. Dude can't even win when it matters, but yet he's God.
The fact that you think a bowl game is when it matters means you're so disconnected from the college football world. That
he didn't want to win the Pop-Tart Bowl?
No. Well, I mean, I'm sure he wanted to win, but it's the least important game on the schedule. Nats Phillies in Philadelphia. Ranger Suarez against Big Jake.
Oh, so if they were good, they would be playing in meaningful bowl game. That makes sense. Okay.
They'd be playing in the college football playoff.
Which they weren't. So, okay, that makes sense. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, all their top 4 linebackers got hurt. You should watch the video. I went through that.
I did. That's why I know so much about it a little bit.
Minus 282, too expensive for the Phillies?
I don't think so. Well, okay, I don't know if I'm actually going to bet it, but I think it's warranted because of how bad Jake Irvin has been. The Phillies have also already dropped a game in this series. And we all know that Washington really can't hit left-handed pitching to save their life. I know that Washington has been a little bit frisky against this Philadelphia team. I mean, they've got to Luzardo in the past as well, but I mean, I'm not really worried about them with lefty starters. The question for me is what you're going to get out of Ranger Suarez. He hasn't really been a second half pitcher his whole career. And we've seen glimpses of those bad outings shape up at home against Anaheim. He got shelled. He got shelled on the road in Cincinnati. He got beat up by Baltimore as well. But he has been pretty damn consistent. And again, I just don't feel like this if I could find a way to fade this Phillies team right now, I would. I mean, but especially with the Zach Wheeler news coming out today, I just have a hard time believing that they just lay an egg here tomorrow. Not to mention the fact that the Phillies bats have been pretty decent. I know there's a couple zeros when you look at our spreadsheets and stuff like that, but the zeros are against pretty legitimate guys. One of them being your boy Cade Cavalli. So, and the Phillies bullpen has been fantastic. By the way, Johan Duran, his last time out, blew a save. I'm sure he'll be fine. It would only be Phillies -1.5, -130, but I don't think I actually bet it.
Yeah, that's really expensive for a run line with the home team.
I agree.
Spoon, what about possibly an under, Spoon?
I'm on the opposite side of that. Jake Irvin does not pitch in any under games that I'm involved with. Especially, like, if you look at his splits, he struggles even more with left-handed batters than he does right-handers. He's got a 1.56 whip, 5.11 xFIP to lefties. I just think these Phillies bats get to him early and often. Ranger Suarez, too, like out of his last 7 games, 5 of them, he's given up more than 3 earned runs. Had a couple pretty bad stinkers there, 5 earned versus Baltimore, 6 versus Cincinnati, 6 versus LA. And it looks like on the spreadsheets, righties get to him better than lefties, but LA doesn't have any lefties in that lineup, and they were able to put up 6 runs on him. I think this is another over. I was on it today at +100. You can get it at -105 right now, over 9.5. I probably won't pull the trigger on it, but that's all I can expect. I think Ranger Suarez's numbers continue to drop as the full season continues to go on, and Jake Irvin is just not a guy I have any trust for.
And fantastic weather in Philadelphia tomorrow, 81 degrees with the wind blowing out towards center field. So really can't ask for better than in the bank.
Yeah, I agree. Probably can't bet it under then. Jake Irvin in the bank with wind blowing out.
Exactly.
I'm not good on that. The Phillies might score 13.
I mean, yeah.
Shout out the Metropolitans. Mets easy, right? It's Elder.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so hard because both of these teams the Mets, as you know, haven't been playing well. They have been against Atlanta, and maybe that was just a spark that they needed with all the history between those two teams. But yeah, it would only be the Mets. I still think this price is a little bit sketchy in my opinion, and maybe that's because of the day I had today and I got burned on a couple short favorites that I liked. But I agree. It would only be the Mets for me.
Spoon?
Yeah, I think we get a really good price on the Mets because Bryce Elder just saw this Mets team, went 7 innings pitched, just 2 earned runs, best game of his season. Maybe some people expect him to do the same thing. And on the opposite side, David Peterson didn't make it out of the 4th inning, gave up 7 base runners and 6 earned runs. This is just the zigzag effect for me. I think Peterson comes out there, deals versus these Braves. Not a lot of lefties have gotten to him on the season, so I think this is a spot where he can pitch well. And Bryce Elder, like you said, just gave up 8 earned runs, 11 base runners to the Chicago White Sox. Just because he pitched 1 good game against the Mets, I think that makes it even more unlikely that he pitches 2. So give me the Mets -130.
I wouldn't hate if you're worried about Peterson, I wouldn't hate an over either, just because Elder pitched well against that Mets team, and then he got absolutely shelled versus the White Sox for 8 runs. And the Mets have been destroying right-handed starters. 4 off of Lord, 6 off of Irvin, 7 off of Kirby. Brian Wu pitched a gem against them, but Luis Castillo had 6 against them. They had 8 off of Strider, and Bryce Elder was sandwiched in between Castillo and Elder. So, and they hit Quinn Priester for 6 runs. So they are just destroying right-handed pitching right now. That's why only reason I feel like that price is so.
Jen in the comments pointing out that the Mets do have a series against Philadelphia starting on Monday, the next day. So, yes, that is very important. Could be. But, I mean, a game against Atlanta, not quite as important as the game against the Phillies, but that's still their rival, a division game. It's not exactly.
I was going to say, and you were going to want those, they use division games as a tiebreaker. So if they were to catch the Phillies or something crazy were to happen, you want your division games to be up there, or wins to be up there.
Spoon, the Blue Jays get to Yuri Perez here.
That's a really tough one. This is another pitcher I like a lot going against a team that I want to continue to back. I was on the Blue Jays today, and I mean, they made me sweat for it. They got the win, blew a 4-run lead late in the game and went to extras. I think Yuri Perez probably keeps Miami in this game for the first 5 innings or so. I looked at Miami first 5 plus a half. I just didn't really want to do that with Kevin Gausman on the mound. He's pitched really well on the road all season, 3.49 ERA. His last 3 road starts, 1.5 ERA with a .78 whip. This Marlins lineup just leaves a lot to be desired at this point. Jacob Marcy continues to come through and just get big hits over and over again, but he's only one guy. There's probably 5 guys that would be in AAA lineups on a lot of teams, but they're finding ways to hit at times. It's what's keeping me off playing Toronto full game right now. But late in that game, you saw Vladdy Guerrero in the on-deck circle warming up to come in to take a big at-bat if they needed it. And I think that's a sign he probably is close to coming back. He was taking fielding practice before the game. So if we inject him back into this lineup, I think this is a pretty good Toronto spot. I haven't played it yet, but Toronto money line is the only way I could really lean. That first 5 with the Marlins is a little bit enticing. It's just not with that lineup.
Toast?
It would only be Toronto for me. The issue is Hoffman, Little, and Flaherty or whatever are all back-to-back days. I don't know if that actually matters, though, for me. The only thing I wanted to point out is, like, if you're following along or looking on our spreadsheets, you're going to see the Blue Jays versus right-handed pitching numbers significantly drop over the last couple weeks. Then you take a look at the names that they've seen. Obviously, the Johan Oviedo pitching against them, that wasn't fantastic. But, I mean, they got to Keller. They didn't get to Paul Skeens. That's makes sense. They didn't get to Nathan Eovaldi. That makes sense. They destroyed John Gray. That makes sense. They didn't get to DeGrom. That makes sense. Kate Horton pitched well against them. That makes sense. They got to Assad. That makes sense. So, I don't know, and my point to that is that I don't think that Yuri Perez is pitching really well right now. His last 3 starts got destroyed by Atlanta, destroyed by Cleveland, and what did we just talk about? St. Louis, they can't hit right-handed starters to save their life. So 4 1/3 innings for me really isn't that impressive. Miami has everybody in their bullpen, but I've been on the Blue Jays the last 2 nights. I felt like today was just a terrible, terrible bet, and I got lucky. But I still think if you're going to give me the Blue Jays under 135, 140, I think you have to play it.
So you're saying the Blue Jays bullpen is taxed here?
Kinda, yeah. But they still have Dominguez, Varland, and Yariel Rodriguez. So really, like, their closer is out most likely, and then a couple middle relievers. But they're 3 of their top 4. Yeah, it's not terrible, but I wanted to make sure people understood what was going on.
Royals Tigers in Detroit. Flaherty, who earlier in the season was actually pitching somewhat well in Detroit. It was kind of flying under the radar because his road starts were so bad. I'm not sure if that's still a thing.
I think it is. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think it is. I think that's kind of like a fallacy. I think that Jack Flaherty's been pitching a lot better than people gave him credit for. He had 2 blow-up starts against Minnesota and the White Sox, so it's really easy to sit back and be like, this guy's absolutely terrible. But the 2 starts, the start after that, he pitched very well against Houston. The start previous to that, he went on the road in Philadelphia, pitched great. He pitched fantastic against Toronto at home. The road start against Pittsburgh wasn't great at all. But again, Pittsburgh's been a really good team at home this year, especially for their standards. He pitched decent against Seattle and Tampa Bay. And I mean, so yes, he has 2 or 3 outings this year. One of the outings he got rocked was on the road in Tampa Bay as well. So yes, Jack Flaherty has a couple bad outings, but at the same time, I think that he's been pitching pretty damn consistent. And I think that his numbers like the ERA and stuff like that are getting blown up because of those bad outings. But this would only be Detroit for me, to be long-winded. I haven't really been on Detroit. I'm not going to bet on them, but they are just absolutely firing on all cylinders right now. And I think that Seth Lugo is coming off like one of the games of this season against Texas at home. His last 2 road starts, I mean, he didn't really go deep into games, and I'm not really in love with this Royals bullpen at the moment. And he has really bad history against this Tigers team, on top of the fact he gets absolutely murdered by left-handed bats. So I think this big price is definitely warranted with the Tigers at home the way that they've been playing. So it would only be the Tigers for me.
Spoon?
Yeah, I was looking at the Tigers minus 145 too. Seth Lugo pitched pretty well to start the season, and recently it looks like he's been dealing with some arm fatigue. 3 of his last 4 games, he hasn't made it out of the 5th inning, didn't even get into the 5th inning in 2 of those. His last game, he pitched into the 7th. This is a guy that's a converted reliever, doesn't have a lot of experience pitching a ton of innings deep into the season. So it kind of makes sense that he would be dealing with that. And you face a Tigers team that can put a ton of lefties out there, some really good hitting ones as well. So I don't think it's a good matchup for him. Flaherty on the other side, I mean, he's kind of been back and forth between really good games and just getting absolutely crushed. And I don't think Kansas City matches up that great against him. He's really good at getting righties out. So like Bobby Witt, Salvador Perez, the bats you really worry about. I guess Vinny Pasquantino hits from the left side, but
yeah,
I think this is a spot where the Tigers minus 145, minus 150 is a justified price. Just a little more than I really want to lay with this team. The bullpen's had to work. They should have Kyle Finnegan ready to close this game out, but it just doesn't all correlate for me, but it'd be Tigers or nothing.
Yeah, the only person that's not available in the Detroit bullpen most likely will be Will Vest, because he worked back-to-back days, but everybody else is rested and ready to go.
Next up. Twins White Sox in Chicago.
I'm not even going to front, guys. I didn't spend 2 minutes on this game. I have zero interest in betting this. It would only be the White Sox at this number, but this total's at 9. I think this is an absolute coin flip.
Spoon?
So Taj Bradley, I believe, is going to be pitching for Minnesota. I was looking into this right before we went live. There's only a couple lines out for this. Gomez is pitching for the White Sox. He's made a couple starts for them. Pitched really good versus the Detroit Tigers. Had a game where he gave up like 3 earned runs in 5 innings as well. I think this is a White Sox spot. Taj Bradley's looked bad in the minor leagues since he's been down there. Had 1 good start out of 3. Looked terrible in the major leagues all season. It really, I would love to get more than plus 116 with the White Sox, but I think these bats get to Taj Bradley. I think Gomez can pitch decent. If you can go 5 innings versus the Tigers and only give up 1 run, why can't you do that versus this Minnesota lineup? Either Chicago first 5 money line or full game money line. I probably won't actually bet it though.
It's a pretty short number to play the White Sox. You must really hate Taj Bradley.
I mean, they're both these same. I just feel like for me, both these teams are the same. I mean, they've split the first 2 games of this series. Both of them killed each other. The White Sox won 7-3, Minnesota won 7-9 or something like that. So,
Toast, what do you think?
It would only be the White Sox for me. I again, the price as far as Minnesota, both these teams are like spitting images of each other. They're both essentially 2-8 or 3-7 their last 10 and 12-18 their last 30. They're both 12-8 their last 30. The Gomez kid, like you said, pitched well his home start against Detroit, so that's a positive as well. I don't think that Minnesota should be laying minus 130 or more to anybody, or even minus 120. So it would only be Chicago at home at the price. And they've been actually somewhat decent. So I don't know. I also feel like they've been playing a harder schedule, but whatever. I'm not betting it anyway.
Let's move on to the next game, which is Giants Brewers. There's no lines, I don't think. Yeah, it's Robbie Ray, but I don't think Woodruff is confirmed for Milwaukee, and we have no line. So we'll skip on over to Cleveland, Texas. Gavin Williams against Merrill Kelly. Wow, tough decision for Toast, 2 of his favorites. Who do you take here?
So Cleveland is okay. Cleveland, just put Cleveland up for me at plus 112, but this opened at like plus 100 or maybe like plus 102, something like that. So to be honest, I don't really understand the line movement. So I'm gonna bet Cleveland. I just don't know what the number is going to be. But as far as the show is concerned, okay. Cleveland has been playing bad. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But I also think that part of it is some of the teams that they've played, regardless. I mean, they caught Atlanta when they're at a time where Atlanta got really, really hot. They caught Arizona at a time where they're kind of streaking. Not trying to make excuses for Cleveland. They haven't been playing good, but I do think there's a little bit of wiggle room there. And Texas, the same thing, though. They've been playing a really good schedule, but Gavin Williams has been pitching fantastic for his last 7 starts. The one exception, which is the one that, I mean, I think everybody knew was coming after that Mets game where he threw 126 pitches. He got absolutely rocked at home in Miami. That was fine. I think everybody was on Miami first 5. It was free as air. And then he goes right back to his normal self on the road against an Arizona team that's been pretty feisty, especially offensively the last couple of weeks. 5 1/3. 4 hits, 0 runs. I mean, and he, like I said, over his last 7 starts, it's pretty much you get that or more in every single one of them, except for that Miami start. And Cleveland's going to have everybody rested and available in their bullpen, which I do think that matters because Cade Smith is coming off 2 straight games where he's blown a save. So I kind of want to see what he's capable of as far as fixing his wrongs there. And Gaddis wasn't really looking good his last time out either. So now all this bullpen is rested and ready to go. And they got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder on top of the fact that if there's one thing that Merrill Kelly struggles with is what? Lefty bats. And if we know anything about watching the show every day, Cleveland stacks lefty bats in that lineup. They will have 8 lefty bats in that lineup tomorrow. I don't think this is a great spot for Merrill Kelly. He has pitched well for Texas. I do love Merrill Kelly. I think he's a really good veteran pitcher. But I do not like this matchup for him and for tomorrow. So I know that Texas has been waking up offensively, also against Seth Lugo, Michael Wacha, Berrios, Bassett, Gallen, Ryan Nelson. I do think Gavin Williams is a pretty big step up in competition to the names that I just named. So it will be Cleveland for me. Just don't know the number yet.
Some hard-hitting analysis here in the comments. He says the question isn't who pitches better. It's who do you take with you into a bar brawl and trust to have your back, Williams or Kelly?
I mean, Merrill Kelly for sure.
No, Williams.
Gavin Williams is a country boy. He's like 6'7". I would take Gavin Williams.
He's 6'7". He's a young gun. Merrill Kelly's like an old meatball.
6'6", but yeah.
Merrill Kelly's like an old meatball. Dude, give me Gavin Williams.
Guy that
dude, he's too lanky. He's one shot and done.
Spoon, do you agree with Toast Cleveland look here?
Yeah, so Gavin Williams has great lefty splits. All the power bats for this Texas team hit from the left-hand side. I think it's a good matchup for him to have a good game. While Merrill Kelly does struggle a little more with lefties than he does righties, he still has a 1.18 whip to lefties on the season, a 4.13 xFIP. Those aren't terrible numbers. Those are really decent, to be honest.
4.13 xFIP isn't a bad number.
1.13 whip. I think league average is like
I thought a 4 xFIP
1.32.
I thought 4.1. I thought a 4 xFIP was average. Isn't that xFIP the same as ERA? What's an average xFIP?
I think you'll find it's like 4.3 or something like that. It's above 4.13.
I don't think 4.13 is bad for an xFIP. I think 4. I don't know.
I mean, he's definitely worse versus lefties than he is righties. And like you said, Cleveland's going to stack it with lefties, but. I mean, outside of Jose Ramirez, there's not a lot of guys I trust to make contact in this lineup. Steven Kwan can get on base, but he's really just a slap hitter. Kyle Manzardo, he's just one of those 3 true outcome kind of guys. I was looking at an under in this game. It's not anything I'm probably going to play, but I just don't trust Texas's bullpen that much, and I don't really trust Cleveland's bullpen that much. It's kind of keeping me off it. Maybe a first 5 under kind of look, but those aren't bets I'm looking to make at this point. I just think both of these teams struggle to score runs off these starters. I think it's pretty close to a coin flip game, so you just always take the plus money. It'd be Cleveland or under for me.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Cubs Angels.
Cubs are hot. They're streaking.
Did you see Kyle Tucker talk to Joba again? 2 home runs today.
Kyle Tucker, 2 home runs?
Yeah, that's 3 home runs since he put a Joba statue in his locker.
A what statue?
You ever seen Major League? The statue.
Oh, Joe Boo?
Yeah.
Joe Boo. Wow. I didn't realize he put a Joe Boo statue in there. That's serious. That's serious work. Cubs, speaking of, does the Kyle Tucker rampage continue here with the Joe
renaissance of Kyle Tucker?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a Joe Boo statue in the locker. Does the rampage continue here against Kyle Hendricks?
I think the Cubs win tomorrow. If anybody knows Kyle Hendricks and how he pitches, it's the Chicago Cubs. He spent the majority of his career there, was drafted by Texas. The Cubs traded for him really early on, and then he played just about every year of his career besides this year there. I see that Kyle Hendricks has a little better numbers versus lefties, and the Chicago Cubs have a lot of lefties, and if they score runs, those are the bats they really need to be doing it. I just think Jameson Taillon can come out and pitch pretty well. Recently coming back from injury, hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs yet. This Angels lineup doesn't scare me that much. I think this is a Chicago Cubs spot again. Minus 141 is the best number I see right now, and I played it already on Bally Bets.
He wants to know who you're bringing to the brawl, Hendricks or Taillon. I don't know on this one. Probably Hendricks. Toast.
I guess, I don't know. I kind of want to bet the Angels. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There's no real reason, but I don't care what the Cubs have done the last couple nights, to be honest with you. Yeah, they scored 10 tonight, but it wouldn't shock me if soft tossing Kyle Hendricks tossed a gem versus his old team. And I mean, I don't really know what to expect from Jameson Taillon, if I'm being dead honest with you. Yeah, he looked good in his one start coming back off of injury against a really good Milwaukee team. So again, nothing bad to say about Taillon, but if I will say, I mean, he does kind of struggle with righty bats. There's going to be a shit ton of righty bats in that Angels lineup tomorrow. It would only be the Angels for me. I'm not there with the Cubs yet. Not at these numbers. I think they probably end up winning the game, but I'm not paying 140, 150 to see it.
Next, Dodgers Padres in a pick'em. Padres coming off back-to-back wins.
First place in the NL West. The Billionaire Boys Club is in shambles again. But go ahead, Spoon. You can go ahead and took this one off. Everybody already knows where I'm at.
You just called the Dodgers the Billionaire Boys Club?
Yep.
Hate
to see it.
Spoon, Yamamoto, Pivetta in a pick'em. What a baseball game.
Nestor Cortez just pitched an absolute gem versus this Dodgers lineup. They're probably all going home right now, getting their own Joba statues off.
I think they're all on their iPads watching the Ohtani strikeout.
You're talking about Major League, right?
Yeah, Joe Boo. I'm sorry.
It's Joe Boo. Yeah, that's what you.
That's why I was confused.
Yeah, it's Joe Boo.
Joe Boo needs a refill.
Yeah. Hey, bartender. It's very bad to steal Joe Boo's run. It's very bad.
And Yamamoto, his last 2 starts out, it's given up 9 earned runs, 10 hits, and 7 walks to the Angels and Colorado, two lineups that I don't respect at all. I think this is a spot where the Padres can probably get to Yamamoto. Nick Pivetta, it's really hard to find any reason not to want to back him. A whip under 1 to both sides of the plate, an xFIP under 4 to both sides of the plate. I think this is a game where the Padres really need him to pitch well. I don't see any reason that he can't. If Nasty Nestor can go out and do that, I think Nick Pivetta has a chance to go no-hitter through 6. So it'd be Padres or nothing. But at the same time, Yamamoto's a really good pitcher. I wouldn't be surprised at all to watch him go out there and blank the Padres. So I'm going to be off this game, but Padres money line is what you can put me up for.
Toast?
It'll be the Padres. The Padres don't care if Yamamoto's on the mound. He's faced them 3 times. They've got 3 or more on him, and every single time he's pitched against them. Pavetta's been absolutely fantastic, and it's all about the bullpens for me. And the Padres were able to win today, and they didn't have to use any of their major arms. So you're going to have Adam on back-to-back days, but Suarez, Miller, David Morgan, Wandy Peralta, all those guys are rested and available, good to go. There's a reason I think this game's at a pick 'em. This isn't me being a Padres homer and talking shit, guys. Like, the Dodgers aren't playing good baseball right now. They beat the Padres. They swept the Padres. That was like their World Series right now because they're not even a 500 baseball team the last month, guys. So there's a reason that this game, these numbers have continued to drop in this series. Yeah, I'll be betting the Padres. There's no advantages for the Padres or for the Dodgers tomorrow.
Dodgers money line.
And you're 0 for 2, so got to hit sooner or later.
It only starts this series. It doesn't count all the other ones I hit.
No, I don't remember. I don't recall you.
Yeah,
that was like weeks ago.
I'm switching Dodgers -1.5.
Yeah, that's smart.
Next up,
I will say, I don't think there's never mind.
Reds Diamondbacks in the desert. Toast, Singer against Gallen.
I don't know. I mean, obviously if you guys know me, I want to fade Zach Gallen, excuse me. But at the same time, I don't really know if I can do it with this Reds lineup. They're just so hit or miss, and Zach Gallen was so bad for so long that it makes his last 4 or 5 starts, whatever it was, look somewhat decent when he only gives up 3 runs in 6 innings. So, but he does go 6 full innings. So that does help a little bit. But this Reds team versus right-handed starters, I mean, they're seeing guys like Kyle Hendricks, Tobias Myers, Quinn Priester, who I think was fresh off an injury or whatever, Mizorowski, who actually ended up having like the worst start of his life against them, Taijuan Walker, Mike Burrows, Mitch Keller, Paul Skeens. It's just they're so hit or miss for me. So it's really hard for me to count on them. And they don't really have a whole bunch of lefties in that lineup that are going to make Zach Gallen pay besides Friedel and Lux. I mean, I'm not really in love with De La Cruz from the left-hand side. And then as far as Brady Singer goes, I mean, it's really hard to trust this guy in general right now. I mean, because you don't really know what you're going to get. I mean, pitches really well his last 2 starts, but prior to that, got shelled in Pittsburgh. And then a couple good starts, get shelled in Washington. The road starts, it's almost like he really can't pitch on the road, and we've known that before. I don't know. This Arizona team is really playing decent baseball right now and scoring a lot of runs, so it's really hard to fade them, but it would only be Cincinnati at this price. I just don't feel like you should be laying juice with this Arizona team, but again, I don't know.
Spoon?
Yeah, you can get over 8.5 -122 on FanDuel right now. I'm a big Brady Singer fan. Really liked him in Kansas City there. Backed him a lot at home, but this season's been a little bit of a different story, and a lot of it's back and forth. He'll have a couple good games, a couple bad games, and he's coming off 2 really good games. 6 innings pitched versus Philadelphia, 6 innings pitched versus the Angels. Only gave up 1 earned run between the 2 games. I think that comes to an end today. I think there's a spot where the Diamondbacks get 3 or 4 off him. And on the opposite side, I don't like Zach Gallen. He struggles a lot more with lefties than he does righties. He's not a huge deal for this Reds team. You'll probably only see 3 of them. But when we factor in these bullpens, they're both bottom half of the league on the full season. And they've only gotten worse as the season's gone on as far as the Arizona arms that are actually available there. This is a spot where I think 8.5 is just too small of a number. I think it's going to be 9s everywhere really soon, and I don't mind paying a little bit of juice for that extra half run there.
Yeah, so the graphic says 9, but if he's taking the 8.5 in this one. Let's move on to the next game, which is Athletics Mariners. Did that game just end? It was 2-1.
Yeah.
The Mariners lost?
Yeah.
Got the under.
Here you go. Jacob Lopez against Logan Gilbert. Spoon, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm a big Jacob Lopez fan. This guy pitches really well to left-handed bats. Some of the bats that I'm worried about here with this Mariners team. I just think this is a really good price for the Athletics. The first 5 you can get half a run at -105. Logan Gilbert, his last time out there, gave up 6 earned runs on 9 hits to the Philadelphia Phillies. This Oakland's lineup probably not as good as the Phillies, but they did just get their own Jacob Wilson back. And with him in the lineup, he's like a spark plug. I expect Logan Gilbert to give up a few runs. He does always pitch better at home, but I think getting a half a run in the first 5 innings in this T-Mobile, it's a valuable bet. -105 is not too much juice for me to lay. And Jacob Lopez, like going back his last 10 starts, he's had 2 bad games in there, 1 to Houston, 1 to San Francisco, teams that have more righty bats. Everything else, you're looking at 2s, 0s. He's pitched really well. I expect that to continue in a pitcher-friendly park.
Toast.
Yeah, same thing for me. I'm not paying 40 cents for that half run though. A's first 5 money line, A's money line, Can't really add much. You're not going to have Munoz and Spear in the Seattle bullpen, which matters to me a lot. Oakland didn't use any of their major arms besides, I think, Michael Kelly, which I know that their bullpen isn't anything like Seattle's, but if you take out 2 of the top 3 arms in Seattle, I do think that gives Oakland an edge. I just feel like this price is kind of crazy with this A's team that we continue, or at least I continue to talk about. They're a much, much better team offensively on the road, which I know that that's weird considering they play in that stupid little ballpark, but they absolutely destroy right-handed pitching on the road, or right-handed pitching and on the road. So and Lopez has been absolutely fantastic. I mean, Spoon went through it. I don't really need to add anything else to it with the splits and stuff like that. So I'm going to be playing the A's both ways. This number is ridiculous.
All right, let's move on to the next game, which is Boston, New York. Carlos Rodon against Dusty May in the Bronx. Damn.
It's just the price doesn't make sense. Like, you could put Boston up for me.
Wait. It doesn't make sense. What do you think the price should be?
Probably, the way that the Yankees are playing right now and the way that Boston has owned them, the Yankees minus 130-ish.
With
honestly,
Rodon against Dustin May in Yankee Stadium? So he'd be close to a pick on a neutral?
Yeah.
With Rodon against Dustin May.
The Yankees have been destroyed by this Boston team, and Boston has been really, really good versus left-handed pitching. Dustin May hasn't been like absolutely terrible. He since coming over from Boston, his last 2 starts, Baltimore and Houston, 12 innings, 2 runs. It's not like he's been getting absolutely shelled. The home start against Kansas City is one of the best teams in the AL. Since the All-Star break. So yeah, that was a bad start, but he was fine his last 2, and this Yankees is, hit or miss. The Yankees are hitting up guys like Shane Baz and Miles Michaelis and Andre Palante. Who cares? This price is absolutely ridiculous. Boston has been just fine versus left-handed pitching. I know their numbers have dipped a little bit, but look at the names on the list. Trevor Rogers, Bailey Falter, Framber Valdez, Robleski, Kershaw, Luzardo, Christopher Sanchez, Shota Imanaga, Kyle Freeland. Again, if Rodon comes out there and pitches an absolute gem, cool. But this number is absolutely ridiculous. Dirty water up.
Spoon?
Yeah, I'm going to just be on the opposite side. Yankees -1, you can get like -113 on right now. Dustin May is not a guy I trust a lot. Got a 1.46 whip to lefties, 3.44 WOBA. He's had a couple good starts here versus Baltimore and Houston recently. He blanked Houston right before a few other pitchers did, missing bats from the lineup. But I just don't trust Dustin May at this point in the season. If we look at his hard hit percentage, it's been over 45% every single game for the last 10 games. He's not striking guys out the way he needs to. The Yankees lineup is really hit or miss, and they've been missed the last 2 games here completely. So I think this is a game, Sunday Night Baseball. New York players just kind of live for the spotlight. I think this is a good spot for it. Boston won the first Sunday Night Baseball matchup, and I'd be surprised to see him win both. Carlos Rodon just kind of has a knack for pitching well in these big games. I think he can shut down this Boston lineup, who over the last 30 days is 19th in baseball in WRC+, 21st in baseball the last 14 days. Just got 1 run off Trevor Rogers. They did get some runs off Bailey Falter and Framber Valdez. The Valdez start was pretty impressive until Valdez had 2 bad starts right after it. They didn't get any runs up for Robleski in just a couple innings. Every time they see a good pitcher like Shota.
Keep going. Destroyed Kershaw. Destroyed Luzardo. Don't stop. You got to keep going a little
runs
bit.
Off Kershaw?
Don't stop when it's don't stop.
I agree with Spoon.
Jesus Luzardo was tipping his pitches. Christopher Sanchez, 9 innings, 1 earned run. 7 innings for Imanaga, 0 earned runs.
Okay.
I don't think that's great. You go into Colorado, face Kyle Freeland, only get 3 earned runs. That's not destroying him.
I'm coming out of baseball retirement to place this bet. Yankees won.
Yeah, please do. Please lay a run with New York right now.
No, not
please.
laying a run.
I'm taking the money. At home. Please do that. And keep in mind, Rodon's been so good against Boston this year. 10 innings, 10 hits, 8 runs. He's been fantastic. And to Dustin May's point, they're changing him a little bit. And his strikeouts, he has 13 strikeouts his last 2 starts. So take it easy on Carrot Top. He's changed.
All I got to do is bet his over strikeouts, and he's done for the season. Last 2 times he's had season-ending injuries.
You should bet it tomorrow then.
I'm betting it right now. Sunday
you
night
should.
baseball too. So maybe my last baseball bet of the year, going out on top. 1 second, let me place the bet. Oh, actually, this is the end of the thing. It's the last game. Yeah, everyone, thanks for watching. Spoon, are you doing your Sunday morning show?
Yep, 11 a.m. tomorrow on Pub Sports Radio. We'll be breaking down the full card again.
11 a.m. Eastern time on the Pub Sports channel.
Yes.
Cool. All right. If I'll be in the comments. Everyone, have a great night. See you all tomorrow night. TV Jones will be back. Oh, actually, I probably won't be on tomorrow night, to be honest. It'll probably be these two guys at TV Jones. You'll see me on Monday. Me, Scoop, Moneyline Mac are doing 7 or 8 early look week 1 college football games. So you'll see me in 2 nights. So, yeah, hit me up if you need me.